Racing on Saturday takes place at Turffontein Standside Track, the 18th of March 2023. We do have a Grade 3, the Sycamore Sprint and the Jacaranda Handicap, which is a listed event. And those are the two main events on the day come Saturday. Alistair, how are you doing? How's everything going your side?
Yeah, everything's good. Thanks, Raheel. Nice to be home. Obviously, been keeping my eye on everything at Cheltenham through the week. Been keeping my eye on everything locally through the week. So, yeah, very exciting times. Looking forward to this card. It's got a nice mix of some very competitive and some nice races. So, it's my type of card. I hope that I get it right. And yeah, a nice standalone Saturday meeting for punters to look forward to as we commence with our championships up in the Halfwell. There's some good racing to come in the coming 6 weeks or so.
Well, let's get straight into it. Race number 1, 10 past 12 over the 1,000 meter trip. As it is a 9-race program, the bipod will commence in race number 2. Now, race number 1, it's Johan Janssen van Vuren, Gavin Larina, favourite here with Nettleton, the 3-year-old daughter of What a Winter. And she's at 5-2, along with Sprotter from the Lucky Hood team. Craig Zaki rides. It's then 4-1 Viva de Janeiro, who's been a drifter in the market, 7-1 and better bar those. Now, it's a type of race where the first timers certainly dominate here, where the form isn't the strongest.
Yeah, when you look at the race runners, obviously Fully Automatics and Iron Sky are the two horses that set the standard, but both of those are pretty moderate, so it won't take a first timer with Group 1 ability to win. I've been looking up the genetics of both these Johan Janssen van Vuren runners. I'll start off with the favourite Nettleton. There's been no runners out of the mare, and this is the third produce. So we know absolutely nothing about Clifton Road and what she's capable of. But this daughter of What a Winter, as you observe, has found a little bit of support in the market. So I don't know anything about it. I do normally get a word from the yard, but sadly, coming into this meeting, I don't have anything. The stable companion number 5, Viva de Janeiro, is a full brother to Viva Rio, who ran second in the Cape Guineas behind Kilindini in 2019. Viva Rio subsequently went over to Hong Kong. He's done okay. So Viva de Janeiro certainly has something running through the blood to suggest that he might be useful. In fact, before the betting adjustments, I thought Viva de Janeiro might be the right one from the yard. So I wouldn't write off his chances, although he'll probably be more effective over further, whereas Nettleton's probably more bred along the lines of being a sprinter. Interesting also about number 10, Sproter, the daughter of William Longsword. She too could be precocious enough to be able to sprint. She's drawn on what's perceived to be the wrong side of the course, but with a lack of rain in Joburg over the last, well, certainly since I got back a week ago, I think that might be nullified, being drawn towards the inside, so that might give her a little bit of a chance, and that could be the way I read it, to be honest.
Yeah, I certainly think number 10, Sproter, could be the right horse in the race, given that she's related to the likes of Spanish Boy, who has done well over sprints, and Lucky Lacus, no Spanish Boy, and even that horse, iStar, who's trained by Fabian Abebe, a bit disappointing yesterday. But yeah, Sproter could possibly be the horse that you want to keep the most eye on here, and follow the market. She's currently at 5-2, but it's certainly a race where the first timers look like they'll dominate race number 1. We're going to move along to race number 2. Start off the bipod over 1,600 meters. Get your bipod bets on by 12:40 on the afternoon. And when we have a look at the fixed odds betting market, American Biscuit is at 15-10. It's then 22-10 about free movement. Celtic Rush at 9-2. 11-2 and better bar those. Now, American Biscuit gets the services of Richard Foree, 1,600 meters. Beaten behind Breeze Over last time out, beaten 2 lengths. Free movement, a horse that I don't think you can discount, but obviously the deep draw is a negative for this individual with Caden Brewer in the irons.
Yeah, it's an interesting race here, Raheel. The bipod is my suggested bet, and I bank in number 1, American Biscuit, but I wouldn't be rushing out to take 15-10. I think he's good enough to run in the first 2. I certainly hope he's good enough to run in the first 2, and I had to narrow down as the meeting went on. My initial numbers were 1 and 11, but I took out number 11, Mambo Camtesio, in favour of bankering number 1, American Biscuit. I think the Richard Foree factor is going to be vital here for number 1, American Biscuit, so I'm going to take a punt that he is going to run into the first 2. The interesting runners here, obviously 2 and 11. Number 2, Free Movement's a horse that's been on my radar since his debut behind Bright Blue Sky. Although that's not a particularly strong piece of form, his second run behind Rollover Red Rover was a tad disappointing in my book. And last time, I liked him quite a bit, and he hit a flat spot for a long time when they turned for home on the inside track. So going on to the stand side track, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubts and say that he's a player, and certainly over the 1,600 meters, that benefits his chances. But I think overall, when he goes 2,000 meters, you'll see a nice horse from free move. Because if he hits that flat spot again, he might just be doing his best work a little bit too late. And then number 11, Mambo Camtesio, I watched that rerun a few times when I was going through this card. He had no right to run fifth behind a stable companion, Sharapova, last time. I believe that was a bit of a surprise for Connections, and he too stepping up in distance with the run under the belt and going onto the stand side track. Despite a bad draw, I think there are a lot more positives than negatives for number 11, Mambo Camtesio, so I expect a bit of improvement, but I think they got their work cut out to beat number 1, American Biscuit.
Question for you, number 5, US Open. Now, last time out, I think we can ignore that run, carried out, and he was reported lame on that occasion. He's drawn in gate number 1, and Samanga Kumalo gets a ride, despite this horse returning off 128 days since his last start. Turffontein standside track could suit him. Inside draw, I think he's going to be a lot closer to the pace. Could he possibly improve at around 14-1 in the market?
He could improve. I think he could run into the first 4. I don't think his form lines are strong enough to get too excited about his winning chances. But if he does sneak into 3rd or 4th, that would be no surprise.
Yeah, certainly horse number 1, American Biscuit, the horse that they possibly all have to beat here. Richard Fury aboard for Tyrone Zaki, and this individual will be looking to shed that maiden at the 4th time of asking. Race number 3 on the program, the start after place accumulator. 1:15 is the time that you need to get your PA bets on, 1,600 meters distance. And this is an MR84 handicap where Trident King, Sequoia, your joint favorites at 7-2, 4-1 Global Impact, Meredith at 5-1. It's then 11-2 and better bar those. Now, Trident King, Gavin Larina will be putting his leg over this 4-year-old son of Pathwalk, who's certainly turned the corner ever since going to the Roy Magna yard. He's now a 3-time winner from 11 starts. He's a horse that didn't really seem like he would get 3 wins, but he's managed to notch it up, and he looks like he's not going to stop there. So he's certainly a lively contender in this lineup, Alistair.
Yeah, credit to Roy Magna. He's done a great job with Trident King. Although he's in my bar pot, I think he's got a very, very hard ask. He's gone from a rating of a 65 on arrival. He's gone up 20 pounds. Although he's clearly improved and he's clearly turned the corner and clearly a different horse and better horse. Going from beating coming in hot and base, with all due respect, taking on horses of certainly a level above, it's not going to be easy for number 2 Trident King. In fact, I think his stable companion, number 4 Kotinos, could have the measure over number 2 Trident King. So I'm interested to see how that works out. In fact, Kotinos is my first selection. In his penultimate start, he was very unlucky behind Southern Blaze. I know that the form is not working out all that well, but the draw, the fact that he found interference in what was a messy race about 300 meters out, I think he gets a good deal closer, and I think his runs to the likes of Bloomington, who of course won on Thursday, Shareholder, Flashy, Apache, I think all of those runs stand him in good stead, and also the rating drop from an 84 down to an 80 over the space of 4 runs might just tee him up for some sort of better run. I'm not 100% sure about the stand side track. If it was the inside track, I'd be very, very confident about number 4, Kotinos' chances. So 2 and 4 in, because you can't leave out Trident King. And then the third horse that I backed up with is number 8, Robert Burns, with Keegan DeMello on board. It was a good, cozy start to finish win last time out, over 1,450 meters. And I think the booking of Keegan could bring out a little bit more. His anti-penultimate start on the 20th of December, where he was well beaten by Trident King, just ignore that run, because I do not believe that there's 10 lengths between Robert Burns and Trident King. So I'm of the opinion that Robert Burns is a better horse now than he was at the end of last year. So those are the 3 for me in a very competitive race. There are a few in there with chances. Thankfully, it's not the first leg of the pick 6.
Yeah, certainly quite a competitive race. I'd throw in horse number 9, Sequoia, into the mix, given that he only has 55 kgs on the back. He has the beating of Meredith at the weight as well. So I thought he could be a horse that you include into the mix. But quite a competitive race to kick off the place accumulator. And Trident King, your favorite here, the horse that's on the up, but he's certainly going to have a competition if he is to reel off a hat-trick. Now we're moving along to race number 4, which is the start of the Pick 6, a fillies and mares 96 handicap over 1400 meters. And your fixed odds betting market has Wakonda at 5-2. It's 3-1 about yours, Alistair, Strange Magic. 7-2, Peyton's Tears. Captain Peg with Richard Furey aboard, she's at 4-1, and then it's double fig odds about the balance. Now, Captain Peg does get the blinkers, and let's start with her because she's taken on quite competitive company in her last 3 starts. Well beaten, she lost her unbeaten record in that 5th start, but she's a horse that, with the blinkers on, she could possibly improve and bounce back to some of her better form, especially that she's drawn in gate 2, but I don't think the 61 kgs is any help for her.
No, I think that's against her. She's a very good filly and she's got a very good jockey and comes from a very good yard. But what she's done of late, although against much stronger and also giving weight to... well, just take Strange Magic, for example. Giving 8 kilos to Strange Magic is not going to be easy. Added to that, she's also giving weight to her stable companion, who I actually give a chance to Follow Me, and Wakonda. Supreme Quest, who's obviously achieved at a fairly high level. She's the highest earner in the race. So I think Captain Peg has got her work cut out. And I'm also not convinced the race is going to run to suit, because I think the quicker the pace, the better. And I don't see too much pace here in race number 4. So... if she wins, I'll take my hat off to Captain Peg and Connections, and Richard Furey's going to have a lot to do with her winning if she is to get across the line. I think she's got her work cut out. My 3 numbers in the bar pot are 3, 6, and 9 in no particular order. Let's go through them. Numerically, number 3, Follow Me, I think is a good filly. Funny enough, I speak to Stuart Pettigrew a lot, and the noise that Stuart Pettigrew, and he makes a lot of noise, the noise that he was making about Follow Me, at the start of her career compared to number 1, Captain Peg, at the start of her career, it was almost like 2 different fillies. So I think that Follow Me probably showed a lot more earlier on, and although she has run well in feature races, she hasn't picked up a big feature race win. This could be the right type of race for her to show her best. Pele Sunday Oli takes a ride on her for the first time. Number 6, Wakonda, one of my good favourites. If it was the inside track, I'd make her very, very, very hard to beat. On the stand side track, although her record isn't terrible, she's yet to win in 7 starts on the stand side track, and I think that might just count against it, but I expect a very good run from her because she's real salt of the earth, a good trier, hard knocker. She gives her best, and she now has Gavin Lorena on board, which certainly does no harm. And then to talk about number 9, Strange Magic, she's got blinkers on for the first time. Her work in blinkers through the week was very, very good. She comes in off a lightweight. She has got a good degree of ability. The only thing with Strange Magic, when it goes right, she can look very, very good. When it goes wrong, she looks very, very bad. Her last run to Little Mary Sunshine was a good effort when beaten less than a length. She looked to win at 200 meters out, and I think Little Mary Sunshine just sort of turned it on in better style. So I think the extra 150 meters will suit number 9, Strange Magic. Also consider that Little Mary Sunshine ran a nice race in the Oaks trial last week. Although she didn't win, she wasn't too far away. So I think everything's set for a nice run from number 9, Strange Magic. I'll be very, very disappointed if she's not in the first 3. She can win.
Hey, Alistair, the dogs are barking about Captain Peg here.
Can you believe it? Well, you know what? I did the show with Dees for Thursday, and the dogs went mad with Mbisi, and he ran a dirty 3rd, I think. So don't take my dog's word for it.
Yeah, we're going to be keeping a close eye on the horse number 9, Strange Magic here, with the blinkers on. Keegan DeMello aboard, and going over the 1400 meter trip. She's certainly a filly that's on the up. She's a 2-time winner from 8 starts, and hopefully for Alistair and Connections, she can get that 3rd career victory. But quite a competitive race, and we'll see how the likes of Captain Peg, Follow Me, Wakonda all go in this lineup, which is the start of the Pick 6. Race number 5, which is a fillies and mares 78 divided handicap over 1400 meters. Now, this race is not easy at all. Favorite is National Star at 4-1. 5-1 about Golden Spoon, Be In My Bonnet 6-1, Luna Ballad at 7-1, Winter Muse 8-1, 8-1, Escape Artist 14-1, and better about those. Now, Alistair, I think the punters out there are going to do a very good job if they are to narrow this numbers down. Personally, I thought numbers 1, 2, 4, 11, and 13 were the horses that possibly had winning chances in this race. But what's your thoughts on the lineup? I thought Run for Isla was actually decent value at 14-1, given she's drawn in gate 1 and has 52.5 on the back.
I have no feel for this race, I must be honest. I mean, I've left Run for Isla out my bipod and I've gone with 4 horses, so I'll be in the dog box from the other half if she wins, because she'll definitely gloat. What can I tell you about Run for Isla? She's probably just a run away from being at her absolute best. She's, as you can see, she's not the most consistent around, but she's got a lot in her favour. If she earns, then that will be a good result, but a very competitive race. There's no way anyone can be confident, but she's in good shape at home. That's about the best I can give you. My numbers here are 1, 4, 6, and 11. National Stars turned the corner. She was a real battler. And it just looks like Sianda Sasibo was the recipe. He's 2 from 2 on this daughter of Pomodoro, and she's actually looked impressive in going about her business. Her form of her penultimate start when beating Breeze Over is one of the strongest pieces of form in Joburg, one of the strongest maiden form lines in Joburg. Breeze Over won. There was, obviously National Star came out and franked the form. Wild Forever was a horse that was well beaten in that race, came out and won. So There's something to like about number 1 National Star, but life's obviously getting a bit harder now that she's been given £6. But Sianda Sasibo has done nothing wrong on her. Number 4 Golden Spoon, I think, is just about at the right place at the right time. Richard Ferree takes the ride. The draw's a little bit of an issue, but I think Richard can do wonders. His booking, I think, is valuable. Her rating has dropped. What was her highest rating? Her highest rating was an 84. She's now down to a 76. So I think she won her first 3 starts, if I'm not mistaken. She went bang, 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 and she's done nothing since. So it would be good to see her back on track. She has run with much stronger. 6 Be On My Bonnet actually caught my eye last time behind Just Be Nice. There has already been a winner out of that form. She got a penalty for running second. She only got £1 for it. Interesting that discussion with the handicapper from that race. Just Be Nice got given £7, and the Lion horse was a horse under sufferance in the form of Big City Girl. So the handicapper had a full go in that race. Horses that ran 6th and 7th ended up getting penalties. So you worked that one out. So anyway, number 6, Be In My Bonnet, got to be a player because she's upwardly mobile. And then number 11, Luna Ballad. If Be In My Bonnet's in the picture, then number 11, Luna Ballad's got to be in there as well. I don't think she's half bad. She's shown glimpses of being capable of winning a few. She's very, very well bred. That's Oldland's royalty, that Erna Moon family, because they all go for big money, and the progeny tend to do quite well. So Luna Ballad's got a bit of catching up to do, but I think she possesses the ability to catch up. I'm talking myself in circles. There are lots in here with chances in race number 5. Top choice would be number 4, Golden Spoon.
Well, if Strange Magic were to come through and win the previous race, then there's no doubt that Golden Spoon will certainly shorten in the market and will be a lot shorter than a current price of 5-1 come race time. But quite a competitive race, race 5. Go as wide as you possibly can over this 1,400 meter trip in what is the start of Jackpot 1. Now, race number 6, the Jacaranda Handicap. It is a listed event over 1,800 meters, and this kicks off Jackpot 2 on the day. And when we have a look at the fixed odds market, Gilded Butterfly tops the betting boards at 7-2. Clafoutis is at 4-1, 9-2 about Tipsy Tarragon. Queen of Shadows 9-2, 13-2 and Better Bardos. Now, in the first leg of Jackpot 2, I've gone quite wide. I've gone with 7 horses in a field of 11, so possibly should just go the field. But I couldn't narrow my selections down to possibly 3 or 4, Alistair. I think it's just that type of race where there's horses that are on the up, they're improving, they're in some good form at the moment. If anything, this horse, Juliet Tango, at around 17-2 in the market. Now, I know she goes the 1,800 meter trip for the second time. She's been up to 2,000. She's yet to be competitive past sort of 1,600. But I just feel with an inside draw, Kumalo at 53.5, she's a horse that, with that last start, I thought she could be a massive runner at 17-2 in the market.
Yeah, I very nearly included her, Raheel, but your words about stamina concerns have given me a bit of doubt. She completely lost her way towards the end of last season, but she came back to life, and a good version of Juliet Tango is a dangerous version of Juliet Tango. And obviously Paul Matchett's in good form at the moment. Samango Kamala is great. I've narrowed it down to 3 horses here. I think what we got to take into isolation is that if the Acacia handicap was over a furlong more, i.e. over the Jacaranda handicap distance, how much further does Clafouti win by? I know that she shifted ground. I know that she caused a lot of traffic in the closing stages, and obviously Jared Penny is serving a suspension for that. But for me, Clafouti won with so much in hand. She was getting better and stronger as the race went on. She only got given £2 for the win. I think that's potentially generous, and I think 1,800 metres will suit her down to the ground. I know that she's also yet to win over this distance, but the fact that she ran over this distance to the likes of Rain and Holland, and she also, much like Julia Tango, just lost her way at a stage last season. So I just like what I saw too much from her in winning the Acacia. So 3, Clafouti is my first choice. Number 2, Terra Time is another filly that I have a lot of time for. She patently didn't stay up an ultimate start in the LA France when she just faded out of it behind Flying First Class. But back to the drawing board last time, she finished 4th behind Clafouti from a terrible draw, so not impossible that she goes close again. I think that 1,800 metres is probably perfect for her. And then number 4, Bold Fortune. She's a very underappreciated filly. I think pound for pound, she's probably better than her stable companion, number 1, Gilded Butterfly. And for the record, to see Gavin Lorena riding for Stuart Pettigrew, that is like seeing Santa Claus in July. It does not happen. So read into that what you like. Number 4, Bold Fortune, good filly. Diego de Gouveia does get the best out of her. He's got a 50% strike rate on this daughter of Flower Alley. I think she needed her last start. She kind of stayed on at the end, but there were a lot of horses all coming from the same position. She strikes me the type of filly that's been teed up with this race in mind. So I think number 4, Bold Fortune, if she comes back to 90% of her best, she's very dangerous.
Well, she has dropped in the rating. She's down to a mark of 95 now, Alistair, and at 16-1, she's certainly a horse that I think you have to include into the mix here. But yeah, quite a competitive race. As the mentioning number 3, Clafouti's won with a bit more in hand than the winning margin does suggest. And Richard Fourie gets aboard for Mike de Kock. So she could possibly be the right horse in the race, but there are quite a few other horses in with chances. Race number 7, which is going to be run at 25-4 on the afternoon, 1,160 meters the distance, and this is the Sycamore Sprint. It is a grade 3 event, and I was tempted to banker number 4, Kiss Me Captain, but then when I had a look at this filly's performance, and I know she's a 2-time winner of the course and distance, but then I had a deeper look, and then I thought the likes of Alula Star comes into the race. Good Queen Bess with only 52.5. Then there's the likes of Dance Till Daylight, Miss Cool, and a few others. I just was put off Kiss Me Captain, but she'd certainly be the top choice for me in this lineup, Alistair.
I think the most evidence that we can glean coming into this race Raheel, is from the Magnolia on Bedway's Summer Cup Day, the 26th of November, when Kiss Me Captain was all the rage and she ran last. Obviously, there were issues for that. She's a lot better than that. But Alula Star came out on top there, and she's got 2 kilos extra, whereas Kiss Me Captain's also got 2 kilos extra. I can't see Kiss Me Captain turning the form with Alula Star or Miss Cool, even though I've got Kiss Me Captain into my bipod, just because I want to keep safe of her, because that run was obviously not hers. She reported not starting out on that occasion. I think it's going to be quite tough for her. So number 2, Alula Star is my first choice. Pilasande Poli takes her out for Stuart Pettigrew. Pilasande has ridden this filly in all but one of her starts. He's done wonders on this filly. The penultimate start behind Roll With The Punches looks a lot better now than it did this time last week, because Roll With The Punches ran a nice race in defeat to Princess Color in the Senor Santa last week. So number 2, Alula Star, probably teed up for this race. I think did she run this last year? No, she didn't run in this race last year. That's quite a surprise. I think that if you just go on the Magnolia run, that she is the one that they all need to beat. Lots of time for number 4, Kiss Me Captain. Number 5, Miss Cool. Bit of a quandary what her best distance is. Her win in the 3 Troikas when giving the field weight was full of merit. She never looked in doubt. She came out of that without a bead of sweat. And then last time the Gauteng Fillies Guinea, she didn't have a great prep, but she still ran nicely behind Lady of Power. In fact, 400 metres out, I thought she was a huge chance. And then she just lacked a little bit extra over the closing stages. All is set fair for a good run for number 5, Miss Cool, if if she is an 1160 meter horse. I personally think she's a 1400 meter horse, but all options are open from connections about number 5 Miss Cool and what her best trip is. And obviously there are a lot of options to come during the winter down in KZN. And then also number 7 is in my play, Dance Till Daylight. Even though Texas Red ran dismally last week, very disappointing run from Texas Red, Dance Till Daylight really caught the eye last time, looked to winner going into the closing stages, and just got beaten off, hinting that she just needed that run. So she'll be better for that run, and I think number 7, Dance Till Daylight. You can see exactly what connections have done. They're trying to get a little bit more blacked out for this daughter of Gimme the Green Light being owned by a stud farm, and they obviously think that pickings on the half felt might be a little bit easier than, well, obviously Cape Town feature season is over, so there's probably nothing to come for number 7, Dance Till Daylight, for a few months, so might as well try your luck up on the half felts, and that could be a wise move.
Yeah, Lula Star could certainly be overpriced in this race at 10-1 in the market, given that she did win the Magnolia, and it was quite a nice win from her on that occasion. And Pila Sunday Mkoli gets on very, very well with this 4-year-old daughter of Red Race. So at 10-1 in the market, she's a horse that I'm sure many out there are going to be having a bit of a go with her. But yeah, it is quite a competitive race, and a race where there's many in with chances. Race number 8, an MR 95 divided handicap over the 1100 meter trip. And this race here, your favorite is Chayavana at 28-10, 33-10 Fosti Novo. So stable companions, 1 and 2 in the betting in the market, 5-1 about Mini Coupe, and then it's 5-1 Osinka, 7-1 and better about those. I've gone with numbers 1, 3, 7 and 9 here, and yeah, Chayavana, he returns off a rest, 1100 meters. We'll see how he does go. He does seem to be very, very effective over 1160, 1200. But the blinkers do go on, which does certainly indicate something. Gavin Lerina is 1 from 1 aboard him, and he'll be looking to go 2 from 2 with this 4-year-old son of Flower Alley. But Fosti Nova, certainly a horse that's not going to go down wandering. And then I thought Tread Swiftly could be the lurker in the race. 1100 short of his best. But if they go hard up in front, he's going to be absolutely flying at the finish.
Yeah, set up for Pierre Stradum. I have a lot of respect for Tread Swiftly. Or when the old cliche, you can give weight, but you can't give start. Well, he's going to be giving both. First run for Gareth Van Zyl, first run on the Halfveld for Van Zyl as well. But his last time on the Halfveld was on the Merchants when finishing second to Vars Vicky. So a strong case can be made for number 1, Tread Swiftly. My first choice here is number 7, Foster Novo, coming back to a sprint. I've spoken to Johan Janse van Vuren numerous times about Chayavana and Foster Novo. Chayavana's got to be one of the most improved horses on the Halfveld. So he's gone from a shallow-looking maiden and beating Blackburner. Blackburner's no great chase. He got beaten by Portrayal. Portrayal did nothing subsequently, but he's gone from that level up to a 94 in the space of a year. So Johan's done a great job at number 3, Chayavana. But whenever I speak to him about Foster Novo, he thinks the world of this son of Flower Alley. Don't know if he's ready or not. Don't know why he was laid off 84 days. I don't think he quite stayed 1,400 meters, and coming back to a sprint, he is going to be very dangerous. He's got blinkers on as well, as you observed, and with King and DeMello on board, number 7 Foster Novo has to be a big player. I'm going to go with him, but mainly out of reputation rather than common sense. A lot of respect for the stable companion number 3 Chayavana, a lot of respect for number 1 Tread Swiftly, respect for number 4 Vegas High Rise, and then the 2 Candace Dawson runners are interesting. Houston's a very, very good workhorse, hasn't quite delivered on the course yet, but coming back to a sprint, the sort of distance that he won over, beating Umtombo Walwazi, who is sadly no more, but a very, very accomplished sprinter, Umtombo Walwazi, and then kept a reasonable level to some good horses along the way. I don't think he'll be far away. Stable companion number 9, Mini Coupe, has blinkers on for the first time. His last run in the middle stakes was actually excellent, and now coming into a handicap, I think number 9, Mini Coupe, could be dangerous, but ultimately just falls short of Foster Nova. I think maybe the way to go here could be a nice swing of 7 and 9 in race 8.
Yeah, certainly. Foster Nova back to the sprinting trips, which he has done his best over, and he's also just 53.5 certainly going to go very, very close in this lineup here. But his stable companion is the one that tops the betting boards, and I'm sure that they'll certainly give you a good run for your money in race number 8. But Tread Swiftly, Mini Coupe, both horses that I don't think you can discount from the race. Now, race number 9 on the day, 1100 meters the distance, 4:45 is when race number 9 gets underway, and this is an MR 78 divided handicap. And for me, this is where the banker comes up in my jackpot. I think that Kian the Conqueror is the best bet on the card here. He's a horse that is certainly highly regarded by the yard. His post-maiden run was an absolute cracker behind Good Queen Bess. He was close up on that occasion in a field of 14 runners. 400 to finish. He was absolutely flying, 21.4. You don't see that too often. And despite 60 kgs on the back, I think he's going to be a tough nut to crack. He is your favorite at 22 to 10. I don't think he takes on the strongest of field. Last time out, I think that was a much stronger lineup, and I think he should be too good for this for the opposition that he meets on Saturday.
Yeah, no debate from me, Raheel. Number 2, Kai and the Conqueror. Another Stride was probably the winner to Good Queen Bess. Obviously, Good Queen Bess runs in the feature early on in the day, so that just declares your opinion about the difference of level that Kai and the Conqueror is running in. I make him very, very hard to beat. He'll be ridden for luck. There's likely to be a lot of pace, and if the gap, so I think the only thing that can stop him are other horses sort of keeping him boxed in. I can't see ability or another horse of any ability stopping number 2, Kai and the Conqueror. Looking for a nice horse to perhaps include into the play. Looking long and hard, maybe number 9, Var Park could be the answer. Raymond Danielson takes her out for Grant Maroon. Stayed on nicely behind Letitia's Angel last time out. I don't think you could put Var Park and Kai and the Conqueror in a straight line and expect Var Park to beat Kai and the Conqueror. But I think he's the type of horse that just raises his game when he needs to. He certainly did last time when trying blinkers for the first time, so that was refreshing to see. And I think he could run into the first 4. But as we always know, the last race of the day, nice quartet pool to play into. A lot of punters hopefully not trying to get out of it. A lot of punters trying to make even more money when getting into the last race. So maybe number 9, Var Park, is the nice quartet double floater with number 2, Kai and the Conqueror.
Yeah, race number 9, certainly all about horse number 2, Kai and the Conqueror for the Corning Speece Yard and Marco van Rensburg aboard. Now we're going to move along to the suggested bets part of the show, and Alistair will take us through his buy part. Alistair, take it away with your buy part.
Okay, so the bar pot gets underway in race 2 at 12:40. I've opened up with a banker in the form of number 1, American Biscuit. I don't think he's past the post, but I do think the Richard Ferree factor, and from a bar pot perspective, I think he'll run into the first 2. Second leg, I've gone 2, 4, and 8. So Trident King, Kotinos, and Robert Burns. Then race 4, leg 3 of the bar pot, 3, 6, and 9. So Follow Me, Wakonda, and Strange Magic, my 3 horses there. Race 5, the hardest race on the card. That's leg 4 of the bar pot, 1, 4, 6, and 11. So National Stars in, as is Golden Spoon, Be in My Bonnet, and number 11, Luna Ballad. There's room probably for a few more if punters like them. Then penultimate leg, race 6, 2, 3, and 4, Terror Time, Clafouti, and Bold Fortune. And then the final leg, 2, 4, 5, and 7, the Sycamore Sprint. I've gone with number 2, Alula Star, who's my first choice, 4, Kiss Me Captain, 5, Miss Cool, and number 7, Dance Till Daylight.
That's Alistair's buy pot for racing at Turffontein on Saturday. Now I've gone for jackpot 2, and I'm going to start jackpot 2, leg number 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 9, 10, 11, followed by 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 11, 14, by 1, 3, 7, 9, by banker 2 in the final leg. And that jackpot just costs 196 Rand. And I certainly believe that it's going to pay a lot more than 196 Rand come Saturday. Alistair, thank you very much for your time. All the best. Enjoy your Friday and have a good weekend.
Cheers, Raheel. Always a pleasure. Same to you, same to the viewers, same to all racing fans. I hope it's a wonderful weekend, and looking forward to the next big one in Joburg in 2 weeks' time.
Absolutely. All the best, guys. Hopefully Saturday treats you well and you find all the winners. It is Saturday racing at Turffontein, and all the best.